All right, hey guys, Justin Jackson here. We're gonna do a little video, teach some of these guys the air squat. But first, let me tell you a little bit about what I got going on. What really gives me a lot of satisfaction and what I really have a passion about for what I do is competitive functional fitness. So everybody's familiar with what that means. It means, you know, similar to what you guys do at Iron Tribe, CrossFit, Grid League, things like that. But what I love is I've been a personal trainer for over a decade, and what you find is I call it the hokey pokey analogy. I tell a client, take your left foot, step it here, take your right foot, put it over here, lift this weight over here. It could be the very next day, and I could say, hey, let's practice what we did yesterday. And a lot of times you're gonna get, what? Right? But in this competitive functional fitness world, we really truly get to teach what we're doing. You have to own it autonomously to improve upon as you get better. When you're looking at your time, you're looking at your maxes, you're looking at your reps, you're looking at your mobility, you're looking at your capability, your progression, your weight loss. You have to really take ownership of it because we're teaching you these skills and these compound movements. Olympic weightlifting, lots of gymnastics, and of course lots and lots of metabolic conditioning. So that's really what makes me passionate on a professional level about what I do is when people have that aha moment that they realize they can do things that they didn't previously think that they could, that they have abilities, inner abilities to go to a place, we call it the dark place, that they didn't think that they could. It's really satisfying for me. Now, on a personal level, the reason why I'm in this business and I live this life every single day, a fitness lifestyle, is competition. Competition and improvement, drive. I try to take the competitive attitude and the effort that I put into my own personal workouts and my history of competition into everything that I do. So if I sit down and I write an essay or I'm reading or I'm sending an email, I try to take that same approach to be aggressive, to be intense, to be the best that I can be in each and every session and not just overall looking at a big macro perspective. That's that competitive functional fitness, that high intensity, constantly varied functional fitness that really drives me, really and honestly each and every day. I could talk about what makes me passionate about fitness all day long. I really could. I take it home with me. I also have a minor in nutrition and I'm really passionate about that as well. Different ways to manipulate things, not just things that you hear that are buzzwords like the paleo diet or the ketosis diet, but what fuels you for what movements and timing of meals, snacks, calorie reduction, weighing your food, counting the calories, all that stuff. I'm completely just dive in that, and that's where all my passion lies day to day. But anyway, that's enough about my little spiel. If you guys want to know some more information about that, just talk to me. Like I said, I'd be glad to talk about it until I'm blue in the face. Regardless of what ends up happening, this is what I do. This is what I'm here to do. This is what I will be doing, whether it's here, somewhere else, or abroad. So what I'm going to do now is pull in a couple of our athletes. And if I could get you to go ahead and switch that camera so we get a little bit wider shot here. What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to learn the air squat today. So first, we're going to do a little bit of warming up. This is an assault bike. If you guys have never been on it, just push the green start button there, and then go ahead and find that seat. We already have the seat set really close to your iliac crest or your hip, so that'll work just fine. And all we're doing is warming up, guys. And so we're going to sit upright. Nice vertical torso. We're going to pedal gently. We're talking about downward force in the pedal here. This is not your typical cycling bike where you're going to be able to do a kick. And then we're pushing and pulling with the arms. Let's do about 2 minutes here. Nice and easy on this warm up. If you guys have any questions or concerns about what we're doing today, just let me know. Like I said, what we're going to do is break down the air squat piece by piece. The way that we're going to do this is the first priority is going to be safety. What's the safest way to do it, okay? Our second priority is going to be efficiency. So you might hear terms like ergonomics, body position, mechanical advantage, right? That's going to be number 2. And then after that, we'll talk about intensity cycling and what you do in a typical workout or some type of competitive setting. So that's the plan for that. You guys keep on pedaling. I'm going to grab some other secondary equipment. I'll be right back. Guys, 2 minutes. So how's everybody doing today? Good. Doing pretty good? I'll tell you what, you guys are looking good. Looking real good. Look at this guy. There you go. There you go. Okay, we're almost there. A little bit of warm-up action. From here, we're going to do some PVC good mornings and a little bit of mild stretching for the hip flexors specifically. See if we can get a little bit warmed up for learning this squat. Should be fun. I'm excited about it. If you guys haven't squatted before, back squat, front squat, weighted squats, raise your hand if you have before. A little bit. Okay. Cool. Cool. You get a chance to go through that. I'm excited. Just let me know when you get that 2 minutes. You can go ahead and jump off of there when you get the 2 minutes. And we're going to make our way, grab a PVC pipe to the middle of the room. Oh, yeah. Fabulous, fabulous. Everybody's going to grab a PVC pipe here. All right, yeah, just kind of line up in front of your bike a little bit there. I'll manipulate myself. Create a little bit of room so you're not running into the other person. You might want to stagger yourself a little bit. No problem. So what we're going to do now is back rack that. Okay, if you've done squats and stuff before, it's just your basic back rack. If not, we're going to put that below our cervical spine, right where our traps are, right where your shoulders begin. And what we're going to do is some good mornings. So good mornings are pretty simple, but we'll go over it real quick. What we're going to start with is we have our feet about at the hip level, so not quite out to the shoulders. And then our weight is what I like to call balanced. So we're not sitting way back on our heels, and we're also not way up on our toes. We have weight in our midfoot. We have a mild bend in our knee, just a little bend in our knee. And then the key here is we're going to maintain that bend throughout this movement. So then we begin by just bowing at the hip till you feel a stretch back here in the hamstring, and then we're going to stand up. Let's do about 10 of those at your own pace. Very nice, TJ. Good job, Charlie. Feeling okay?
Good.
Simple, right? Not too complicated. You guys feel that stretch in the bottom for the hamstring?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Very tight.
Pretty much any type of squat we do, our primary move is going to be that posterior chain. We're talking hamstring and gluteal group, so we want to get a little warm there. Our assault bike's a great warm-up tool, but it's a really quad-dominant machine. Good. Keep a little bend in that knee, TJ. Feet look good. Try not to stay back on the heels. That's the common mistake here, is everybody wants to go whoop. Right? Try to have some balance. Come here and feel that stretch. That's very nice. We're just doing about 10. Very nice, very nice. Once you get your 10, set your PVC pipe right on the ground in front of you. Very nice. And then what we're going to do now is something we call a Samson stretch. This is specific to the hip flexor, but again, we're going to stretch that gluteal group a little bit as well. So what we're going to do is step into a big lunge. And if you guys aren't familiar with that, have your hand down for balance. Okay? Our open side, so the open hip side, we're going to reach up nice and tall, and then our goal is to take this hip and drive it down as we keep that arm up. You'll feel a nice stretch right here and maybe a little bit in the gluteal group as well. So let's get down to that left foot forward first. And like I said, take your time, find your balance. We're just now working together, so we don't know where we're at here. Open side hand up there, Jason. Nice. Good. And if you're nice and flexible, like you can see Charlie is, you can really try to drive that hip down and get that opened up and get ready for a little air squat action. We'll say about 15 to 30 seconds, and I'm counting, so we're at about 9 and 10, 11, 12. You guys are funny. About 5 more seconds on this side. All right, and take your time and switch. Does anyone have any questions or anything for me as we get started? No? Just ready to learn, ready to do it to it?
Yeah.
All right.
Down to business.
Fantastic. Open side up. And you want to step as good as you can and still have a solid base. So as long as you still have your foot contact, you want to step really, really far and drive that hip down. Obviously, when we stretch, a little bit of discomfort is possible, but we don't want any type of pain, particularly in any joint. In that hip crease really deep, in the knee, we don't want any pain there. A little bit of discomfort's okay. But manage that. Nice job, people. Nice job. I wonder if I could have a good group like this. Got about 15 more seconds here. Very solid. What? Oh, that's okay. Low on battery. Okay, we got that there. Let's go ahead and grab that PVC pipe one more time. We're going to bust another 10 good mornings. Let's see if we can go just a tad bit deeper into that bow. And remember, mild bend in the knee, feet are under the hips. We're looking for a stretch in the hamstring and the gluteal group. Lumbar stays neutral at the very least, maybe mildly extended. And you're going to hear that term again in a minute. Very good. A little bit more balance in the midfoot. Nice. Let the bike get you there, Jason. Balance in the midfoot. That's my biggest struggle when I go to do good mornings, especially weighted, is I want to sit back on my heels or end up too toesy. You want to find that balance the best you can. Very nice. And once you've done those 10, just prop your PVC pipe over there on the rig, if you could, please. Nice and easy. Grab a hold of that thing there, Jason. We don't want to do the Jesus. There we go. All right, let's put those right off to the side. Okay, and as I said before, we're going to learn the air squat today. Even if you have a little bit of experience with the air squat or back squat, I think that this will be worth your time. This is a foundational deal, and it's really the base for anything we want to do as far as strength training goes. Any squat we want to do, Olympic movements, we got to have a good squat base. And as I said, we're going to emphasize safety, number 1, mechanical advantage, number 2, and then we're going to look at things like speed, how fast we can cycle it, what we would do if we were in a weighted situation, heavy stuff and stuff like that. So when we start an air squat, first of all you guys are good, you don't have any injury issues, you've done some squats before, whether they were incorrect, correct, or somewhere in between, so we don't have to worry about like, ooh, are we physically capable of doing this? You guys are good, right? Beautiful. So what we want to do is we want to start with our feet about shoulder width apart. And there's going to be a little bit of variability with where your toes are at. A lot of people are comfortable with their toes out a little bit. You can be more square if you'd like. That's a comfort thing. But feet at the shoulders. Okay, let's have our hands out in front of us. You can go up high if you want, but we'll start kind of out in front of us. And then what we want to do, and don't do it yet, we're just going to talk. What we want to do is we want to take the butt back and down, almost like at a 45-degree angle, and that's where we want to initiate our squat. So we want to go from here and send that butt back and down, drive our knees out, maintain heel contact with the floor, and fight for a vertical torso. Our 3 big keys on the air squat are we have to maintain the integrity of the lumbar spine, so our low back, we cannot get flexy here. I don't even want you to get all the way to just neutral, just a mild extension in the low back, and we maintain that, okay? Number 2, we want to maintain our heels on the ground. If we rotate our weight to our toes, like this, then what happens is we activate a lot of musculature in the front part, in the anterior part of the leg, which is not what we want to do. We want to be posterior here, okay? And then when in doubt, we drive the knees out. Okay, if our heels stay down and our feet are down, we want to send those knees out, and that's only going to protect our knee and put that force on these big major muscle groups in the upper leg here. Okay, so let's do a quick one at a time. We're going to watch TJ, us 3, we're going to watch TJ do 5, then we're going to watch Jason do 5, then we're going to watch Charlie do 5, and then we're going to talk about it. So TJ, give me 5 good squats here. Good. And depth is not important. We'll talk about that in just a second. So just go to a point that you're comfortable with as far as the depth goes. I like TJ's torso position. I like his foot position. His hand position is good. Now something we'll also go into in just a minute is what a butt wink is. A mild little bit of a tuck at the bottom of that movement. And you can see he has just a little bit of that. Not enough to really worry me, but just a little bit. How'd that look to you guys? Good. Pretty good? Cool. Jason? Feet shoulder width. Heels stay down, drive the knees out, natural curve of the lumbar spine. We fight for a vertical torso, a neutral head. Looks pretty good. 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 And you can see he has just a mild bit of it. Can you catch what I was talking about? There's just a little bit of that pelvic tuck underneath of there. Like I said, not a deal breaker. Just something we want to be aware of. When we get to the weighted stuff, we want to fix that or stop a little early so we don't have that spinal misalignment. Charlie, let's give us 5 good ones here. Knees out, feet are down, torso's vertical. Look how vertical that torso is. That's fantastic. Okay? And as she's doing her 5, what we would like in an ideal world is our perfect depth is hip crease below parallel. Okay? So what that means, guys, is this crease in my hip gets below my knee. Okay? So right about there would be right where I need to be. That makes sense? And all you guys were able to get there. The catch-22 of this is that little butt wink, that little pelvic tuck that we were talking about, right? Most people, when they first start to get to these big range of motions, they have a little bit of that. Personally, at an air squat level, I'm okay with that as long as it's not extreme, as long as it doesn't happen early. But when we start to get weighted and stuff, we want to improve upon that before we continue to build heavy weights and stuff like that, or limit the range of motion, okay? Does that make sense? Who has any questions or anything? All 3 of you guys have a solid squat base, no issues with the lower leg or the foot. Ankle flexion is pretty good. You're doing a good job of driving the knees out, and your torso is fairly vertical, especially you, Charlie, fantastic on that. But if I was going to say one thing that we would work on, all of us, any of us, myself included, is fighting for that vertical torso position in that squat position. So what we'll do to demonstrate that real quick, and then we'll wrap this up, is we're going to go over to the wall for something that we call squat therapy. And what this is going to do is really test your ability to stay vertical. This is a little bit of an advance, but since the three of you guys have a pretty solid squat base, I want to go ahead and introduce it to you, okay? So just spread out upon these little metal things here. Yeah, line up with one of the metal things for me, just so it's uniform there. There we go, all right? And what we want to do is be about 6 inches away from that wall if we can. And then here we're going to take our arms straight up. We're going to go up as we can, all right? Then everything you guys just showed me with the butt heading back and down, the feet down, knees being driven out, fighting for a vertical torso, natural lumbar curve, right? All that stuff. We want to try to mimic that again. Together, we're going to do 5 on the wall, and you're going to feel tightness in the thoracic of your back here. Let's do it. Come on, come on. Yeah. Good job, Charlie. Very nice. You guys feel that? You feel a little bit of tightness here? What that is the relationship of your hip and your spine, your trunk, and that flexibility requirement there. If you feel that tightness and it feels really, really extreme, that should be a light bulb that, hey, I need to work on this torso and hip flexibility, okay? And next time we'll get a chance to talk about that a little bit more. But just do your 5. All the safety checks look good. If we were working with foundations, I would mention a few things we should watch out for, and I will move you guys forward to front squats and start working on that. Okay? Really solid job. I hope that was what you guys were looking for. I know these guys learned a lot about air squat, and I enjoyed it as well. See you on the next one.